Good afternoon. On behalf of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Secretary Terry Reedy, the Municipal Police Training Committee, and Chairman Jim Hicks, and Executive Director Robert Ferrulo, I would like to welcome distinguished guests, law enforcement officials, family, and friends who are here today to celebrate the graduation exercises of the Randolph 18th Recruit Officer Class. My name is Jacqueline Hazeldine, and I am the Academy Director for the Randolph Regional Police Academy. Please stand to welcome the 49 graduates of the 18th ROC. The class will be led by the Boston Police Department's Gaelic Column and the Norwood Police Department Honor Guard. Please remain standing for the national anthem, which will be sung by Elijah Griner.
Precinct up!
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was majesty there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Elijah. I would like to invite Reverend Deacon Christos Hatsopoulos to the stage to give the invocation.
Ready, move!
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this great day and for the occasion that we gather. As we look over this group of graduates today, the 18th recruit officer class of the Randolph Police Academy, we thank you for all those men and women here today who worked hard and made individual sacrifices to achieve their goals of becoming a police officer. Thank you also for these officers here today who have come forward to serve their communities during these difficult times in our country. Be with them to be all that you have made them to be and that all our communities need them to be. Keep them safe as they answer the call to serve and protect the citizens in their cities and towns, as many times they face the unknown. Help them to turn to you as they need the strength and the courage to face another day. Bless them for all they have given up in their pursuit of this sacred and noble profession as law enforcement officers. Thank you for the families and friends gathered here today. Bless them for their support of their loved ones. Be with us all as we celebrate the great accomplishments of these graduates as we seek to please you in all that we do. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Recover! On a guard, right? Hey, right. Forward.
Please be seated.
Platoon, seat!
It is now my honor to introduce to you our distinguished guests seated here on the stage. Assembled on the stage to your left is Executive Director Robert Ferrulo and Deputy Director Laura Thomas of the Municipal Police Training Committee. I have the privilege of being able to introduce our staff instructors who are assembled on the stage to your right. This group of dedicated individuals work for the Academy part-time in addition to working full-time in their own departments. Assembling this team to oversee the day-to-day operation of the class was key to our success. Our staff instructors are committed, motivated, and have a genuine desire to help shape and guide new recruits to be the best police officers that they can be. They have instilled discipline and structure and have acted as mentors, role models, counselors, and soon to be friends. They have helped the recruits and myself through this program, and I am truly grateful to them for that. Deputy Chief Gerard Aramo of the Rockland Police Department, Sergeant Detective Kevin Witherspoon of the Boston Police Department, Sergeant Brian Jenkins of the Braintree Police Department, Detective Sergeant John Meinke of the Medway Police Department, and Officer Ben Levine of the Bolton Police Department. Unable to join us tonight, we have Lieutenant Donald Mills of the Brockton Police Department, Lieutenant Jay Borges of the Somerset Police Department, and Sergeant Kevin Amaral of the Brockton Police Department. As the Academy Director, part of my role is to hire staff, subject instructors, book venues, and prepare for a recruit class. Class commenced on May 22nd, 2023. We had a full schedule of over 800 hours of training to be conducted in the last 23 weeks. Staff instructors, subject instructors, sponsoring agencies, role players, all stepped up and got the job done. Without each person who helped us, who taught for us, who role played, or who gave of their time, knowledge, experience, we could not have completed our mission. The majority of our instructors work a full-time job and still spend countless hours with the Academy as well, either on their own time or even using their vacation time to be there. Saying thank you is not nearly enough. I would also like to give a personal thank you to all the instructors who have gone above and beyond in order to see that each of these officers have gotten the training that they needed. I would like to thank the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency. I would also like to thank the Blue Hills Regional Technical High School and Attleboro High School's legal programs for our new working relationship. I look forward to working with them more in the future. I would like to thank the town of Norwood for our location here tonight and for the Honor Guard. I would like to thank the town of Braintree for assistance with our training venue. And lastly, Lieutenant Chris Camborian and your team have made this training experience great, no matter how many roadblocks we faced. I thank you, and these officers thank you. The program is successful because of your hard work. The 18th ROC has been fortunate to have Deputy Chief Gerard Aramo throughout their time in the Academy. They are fortunate enough to meet him at day one, and he has continued to be a part of their growth through the last 23 weeks. At this time, I would like to invite Deputy Chief Gerard Aramo to the podium.
Good afternoon. Esteemed guests, Chief of Police, Academy Director, Director Ferrillo, and staff from the Municipal Police Academy, family and friends. It is a great honor that I stand here before you, chosen as a guest speaker for the 18th Recruit Officer class. Having had the opportunity to sit on both ends of the Academy graduation as a Deputy Chief on one side and a staff instructor on the other side, I promise you, this will not be very long. My name, again, is Deputy Chief Gerard Aramo. I'm with the Rockland Police Department. 34 years ago, I chose the profession in law enforcement. I have not regretted one day of my career, and hope for the same for the men and women who sit before you on the stage. I am grateful to have met many extraordinary people along the way, and 48 of them are sitting right here before you. I will tell you a short story about myself and my career, probably similar to those of the 18th ROC. This is not my time, and I don't want to bore you. I was hired as a patrol officer in 1984. I remember the day I signed the civil service list, stating that I would accept the position as a police officer. It was an early morning, the sky was blue. I opened the front door to the police station, and with excitement and enthusiasm, I can recall thinking to myself, this is it. I'm going to be a police officer. My heart was pounding. Opening the door of the police station, I stepped up to the desk in the front lobby. A police officer standing there looked sternly at me from behind it, and he said, "What do you need?" With that same enthusiasm in my voice that I had walking through the door, I replied, "Sir, I'm here to sign the civil service list." For a moment, there was dead silence in the building. You could hear a pin drop. I stared at the officer standing behind the desk, waiting for him to say something as he intensely stared back at me. I could see he was sizing me up. In what seemed like an eternity, he finally said to me, "What the hell do you want to be a police officer for?" I was stunned. My mouth was wide open. I did not know what to say. I hastily signed the list and bolted out the door thinking, what am I in for? The rest is history. Little did I know that that question back then would still be echoed so often today. Looking out into the audience, I'm sure many of you here have asked that same very question to your son, your daughter, and your friends sitting on this stage representing the 18th ROC. What the hell do you want to be a police officer for? History truly repeats itself. Trust your loved ones in the decision to enter the law enforcement profession. There is no greater calling to protect and serve. Seated before you, the men and women of the 18th ROC have proven themselves and each other that it's the right job for them. They have truly accepted the calling. Over the next 23 weeks, they've created a bond amongst each other that can never be broken and can only be understood by others that have chosen the same path. Be there to support them in good times and bad, as family is more important than the job. Family is everything. They will need you. As I look out into the audience, I see many faces of extraordinary men and women in uniform who have been honored to know, and in some cases worked alongside for many years. They have also accepted this calling. Your presence here this afternoon speaks volume to your commitment and dedication to the profession of law enforcement. I thank you all for everything that you've done, especially for the support you've given the recruits after the last 23 weeks. I see mothers and fathers, family members, and friends who have gathered here today to show pride, love, and support to someone on this stage who is about to open the door and walk that long corridor to the greatest profession on earth. Thank you for your compassion and your support throughout these last 23 weeks. They would not be here today without your help. To my left, seated in front of you, sits the next generation of men and women to enter the law enforcement profession. They are officers of the 18th recruit officer class. Throughout the 23 weeks, I've seen great joy, deep sorrow, and every imaginable emotion in between as these 48 individuals put their lives on hold to enter what I feel is the greatest job on earth. Every one of them in so many different ways, every one of them all different in so many different ways, yet all with the same goal in mind, and that was to become a police officer. From their first week through the doors of the academy, with me yelling, "Hurry up," and that they were all undisciplined people who have no business wanting to be a police officer, to the last days of applied patrol procedures and sharing a few laughs about how it all began, I have been honored to watch them grow, learn, and understand what it's all about to become a police officer. Although their training and academy is ending, it is only just the beginning. I hope that I have helped in some way make their time at the Randolph Police Academy as memorable as possible. Knowing that I have passed on many years of experience and knowledge to a new generation of law enforcement is by far my greatest achievement. I would like to share some final thoughts of advice to all of them one more time. You will meet many people in your career. Remember, not everyone is out to hurt you. There are many wonderful people in the world that love police officers. Treat people the way you want to be treated, be respectful, and treat people with dignity. Remember that character, integrity, and respect are not your right to possess, they are earned. If you think that something you're about to do is going to get you in trouble, it probably will. Don't become frustrated when people treat you with disrespect. Stay humble and never forget where you came from. Stay focused and stay disciplined. If you lose your discipline, you will lose your respect and all that you've worked so hard for. Lead by example and do it more professionally than everyone else. You'll be expected to be a problem solver, a teacher, a parent, a mediator, and a marriage counselor, all rolled up in one. Remember those words I've often spoke, work the task at hand. You can't solve everybody's problem. Go home at the end of your shift knowing you did the best you could and you made a difference in someone's life. Never stop learning. Read as much as you can. Remember, knowledge is power. Learn from your mistakes as well as others. Learn from your training officers. Learn from your supervisors. They have learned knowledge that can't be found in any training curriculum and training manual. Wisdom will come at you in short bursts. If you hear it, bury it in your brain. There's a chance that you'll get to use it again someday. Learn from the criminals because they are the experienced one, and they're learning from you. Never stop training. Train your mind, your body, and your emotions. Everyone wants to be a master of something. Figure out what you're best at and do it, and be the very best every day that you can. Always look forward and never go back. Think wisely as to the choices you make early in your career, because they can last a lifetime. You will be judged every day by your peers, people you've sworn to protect, and criminals on the street. Someone is always going to be watching you. Don't be swayed by the cynicism of others on your job. It is easy to fall into that trap. Walk proudly with your head high, and don't be afraid to let people know your dignity is not negotiable. You've worked hard, and you've earned the right to wear that badge that's about to be placed on your chest. Avoid complacency whenever possible, and if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Always have a plan of action and be decisive in what you do. Slow things down, never hesitate. Make your decisions based on information that you have, and when it's time to act, remember, be first, be fast, and then finish what you started. Protect those who you're sworn to protect and put bad people in jail. There is no greater satisfaction than arresting people who are just plain evil and want to hurt others. Go to work and have fun, because if you're having fun while you work, you will be successful in your job and your life. Go home every night. Don't let the frustrations of the job go home with you. When things get bad at work and you think that things can't get any worse in life, look around. There are always somebody worse off than you. So in closing, I want to leave the 18th ROC with some final comments from retired Navy Admiral McGavins of the United States Navy speech, "Make your bed." It may have been one of those 4-page papers that I assigned to the platoon to do at one time, so I'm sure they'll remember it. Start each day with the task completed. Find someone to help in life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some time, step up when the times are the toughest, face the bullies, lift the oppressed, and never give up, you will succeed. It has been an honor and a privilege to have served as a staff instructor to all of you. You will all be great in your profession. I hope you have a healthy and safe career. Congratulations, 18th ROC.
Thank you, Deputy. At this time, we would like to announce the winners of the class awards. Before we present the awards, I would just like to congratulate all of the student officers for their efforts. Although we can only issue these 4 awards, you should all be recognized for your hard work and dedication. Each and every one of you should be very proud to be here in these blue uniforms today. At this time, I would like to invite Sergeant Jenkins to present the Firearms Award, also known as the Top Gun Award.
This class began their firearms training with 2 days of classroom learning and hands-on practice. The platoon then split 2 full weeks of live fire training on the range. Each week, the class was instructed by a skilled and diverse group of veteran firearms instructors, which I'm honored to be a part of. As each week progressed, the class built on their skills, which tied into the stages of the qualification course. Each week concluded with a test-out day where each member of the class was tested on handgun manipulation skills and had to pass the qualification course. To pass the qualification course, 2 passing scores must be achieved. Once that was complete, it was time to combine everything they learned and add some stress by adding a little competition. The final test of the day was the Top Gun course. This course consisted of 21 rounds, fight at 6 small targets, all numbered in different shapes. The shooter had to search for the proper shape and fire the correct number of rounds, with a couple of magazine changes needed to complete the course of fire. All of this was done while being timed and held to high accuracy standards with substantial time penalties for any misses. Once this was done, we combined the qualification scores and found out who our Top Gun was. The Firearms Achievement Award, better known as Top Gun, is presented to Alex Tisdale of the Dartmouth Police Department.
Thank you, Sergeant. Sergeant Detective Witherspoon will assist in presenting the EVOC Award.
EVOC is an acronym for Emergency Vehicle Operator Course. The course is a week long and very challenging. The ability to maintain calm and stay focused during this training is extremely difficult. Some of the courses include precision, backup, break and turn, pursuit, and cornering. This award goes to the student officer who had the best combined score on all of the EVOC courses. The EVOC Achievement Award is presented to Officer Stefano D'Amelia, West Bridgewater Police Department.
Thank you, Sergeant. I now ask Sergeant Mikey to announce the Academic Award.
Good evening. The student officers were tested regularly throughout the academy. They were tested on core academics and specialty subjects. Each score from every written test was recorded, and this award goes to the student with the highest academic average. This was a very close race, as normal, and came down to the final exam scores. With an average of a 97.17, the Academic Achievement Award goes to Officer Robert Hoey of the Whitman Police Department.
Thank you, Sergeant. Deputy Chief Arama, will you please announce the Leadership Award?
The Leadership Award is given to the recruits that lead by example, take training seriously, always reminding recruits that you train the way you train, so shall you perform. The recruit has been a leader while at the academy and behind the scenes. He is always the last person to leave every day. A good leader is someone that can make a decision, stand by it, and provide direction to his people, all while being one of them. The 18th ROC Leadership Award for outstanding leadership goes to Officer Damon Yancey of the Hanover Police Department.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. At this time, I would like to invite the platoon leader, Damon Yancey, of the Hanover Police Department to speak.
Thank you, ma'am. Deputy Chief, I just want to say before I read my speech, I didn't see your speech. They're pretty similar, so we must think a lot alike. Director Hazeldine, Academy staff, department chiefs, distinguished guests, family and friends, thank you for attending today's graduation ceremony. This is my first opportunity to publicly thank my wife, Caitlin, who's always supported me no matter what adventure I come up with, like attending a police academy in my 40s. So, Caitlin, thank you for always having my back. I love you. I also want to personally thank the Chief of Police for Hanover, Chief Kane. Thank you for this opportunity. To my class, this journey was not easy. We all made sacrifices to earn our spot on this stage today. I would like to thank the squad leaders, Officer Gomes, Officer Barter, Officer Curtis, and Officer Johnson for helping me manage the daily chaos. You guys made my life a lot easier most of the time. I would also like to thank those that worked countless hours behind the scenes to make events like tonight possible. Our President, Officer D'Amelia, the Vice President, Officer Perdigo, our Secretary, Officer Rosa, and Treasurer, Officer Offley. The four of you had a thankless job that added stress to an already stressful academy. I appreciate your dedication to the 18th. Thank you. As we sit here 49 strong, I want to issue the platoon 3 challenges. First, I challenge you to remain disciplined. I don't mean squaring your corners or snapping to attention when someone senior to you walks in the room. I mean continue to take pride in the way you look and how you represent your agency and law enforcement in general. Always remember what it felt like the first time you looked down at the patch on your shoulder at the agency you came here to represent. You showed up on day 1 to the academy to represent your team. Remember the pride you felt the first time you passed an in-ranks inspection given by Deputy Chief Aramo. You put in countless hours of ironing your uniform and shining your boots with the hope that you might get the seal of approval from him. Remember the feeling you had when you were halfway to the academy in the morning and a random piece of equipment popped into your head. Did you bring it or you forget it? Even though you knew you had every piece of equipment, you couldn't let that feeling go until you put eyes on your equipment bag. That's because you care, and you didn't want to embarrass yourself or your department. I challenge you to remain disciplined. Second, I challenge you to keep up with your physical and mental readiness. I don't mean increasing your squat or to compete in a physique competition, although those are great. I mean to stay consistent with your physical training and nutrition. Remember the feeling you had when you stopped dreading morning PT and you started to look forward to it. I cannot speak for the academy staff, but I can tell you that I was extremely proud of this group on the day we took our final PT test. The hard work, sweat, tears, and sometimes blood had paid off. Stay physically ready for any challenge this job may present to you. Stay ready, and you'll never have to get ready. Not only does PT help with your physical readiness, it also helps with anxiety, stress, depression, sleep quality, and it has many other amazing side effects. I challenge you to stay physically and mentally fit. Third, I challenge you to remember the power of mutual respect. Respect is something that we all desire, whether we admit it or not. We all want to be treated with dignity and respect like human beings and provided the common decency that comes along with that. Of course, officer safety is the most important, so there will be times when respect will be an afterthought to controlling the scene. As the defensive tactics legend, Officer DeChara says, just be a good person. I challenge you to treat people with dignity and respect. In closing, I challenge you to always take pride in yourself and your department. Take a proactive role in your overall wellness and treat people with respect when the situation allows. It was my honor to serve as your platoon leader for the 18th ROC. Walk tall, defend all. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Yancey. I would like to invite the class president, Officer D'Amelia, of the West Bridgewater Police Department, to say a few words.
It's going to be tough to follow up Officer Yancey's speech, but I've spent the last 6 months trying to keep up with him, so I don't know why I thought today would be any different. Good evening. I'm Officer Stefano D'Amelia with the West Bridgewater Police Department, and I had the privilege of serving as the president of the 18th ROC. As I stand here on this stage and see the members of the 18th wearing their department uniforms, full duty belts, everything tight, I can't help to think back to where it all started for us. 158 days, 9 hours, 33 minutes, and 47 seconds ago, we started our journey together. Sitting in the Kohl's parking lot, 5:30 a.m., preparing for day one of the police academy. If you could have been there, you would have seen 52 individuals in khaki uniforms, not knowing what we were getting ourselves into for the next 23 and a half weeks. Prior to May 22nd, many of us received advice from people in our lives that have been through a police academy or similar training. Much of what we were told was out of the same, including keeping your head down, focusing on your work, and staying under the radar. While this was good advice, we quickly learned that at the Randolph Police Academy, our individual selves could not be our number one priority. It took some trial and error to figure this out, which ultimately took time. We had some good days and a lot of bad days. Many days of which felt like they were never going to end. To be extremely brief, these long days included early mornings and late nights, hours of classroom time and studying, tough physical training, getting a first-degree exposure to oleo resin capsicum, otherwise known as getting hit between the eyes with pepper spray, and long, hot days on the firearms range, which somehow managed to get a little bit hotter. Although we had many of these days, we wouldn't have it any other way. These are the days that prepared us for the rest of our careers. The 18th exemplified characteristics of integrity, discipline, and honor. While we had very strong leadership, our jobs were made easy. Did we have disagreements? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, we adhered to the chain of command, took our orders, and executed them at a high level. When things needed to be done, they got done. And I believe the success of the 18th speaks for itself. However, we would not be where we are today without our staff instructors. Deputy Chief Aramo, Lieutenant Borges, Lieutenant Mills, Lieutenant Camborian, Sergeant Detective Witherspoon, Sergeant Detective Meineke, Sergeant Amaral, Sergeant Jenkins, Officer Levine, and Officer Hazeldine. Simply saying thank you would not be enough. You've all played a major role in our training, which will extend through the entirety of our careers. The lessons you have taught us will stick with us forever. You've gone above and beyond to ensure that when we exit this auditorium today, we not only will be proficient police officers, but we'll be a better person than when we walked through the doors on May 22nd. Director Hazeldine, after kicking us off the academy property at orientation, very bluntly and quite emotionless, I was certain that the next 6 months of having you as our boss was not going to be very enjoyable. However, I couldn't have been more wrong. It has been made clear time and time again that our success in training is extremely important to you. You have provided us with some of the finest instruction the state has to offer. While preparing us for this profession, you have exemplified that above all else, no matter what rank or position you may hold, being a human being is the most important title you can have. The impact you've had on all of us and who we are as people and police officers will last with us forever. Director Hazeldine, from all of us, thank you. While many of the 18th ROC are beginning our careers of service today, that's not the case for all of us. 5 officers within this platoon have already served this great nation, and they take the oath today and will be continuing that service in a different capacity. I would like to ask the following officers to stand as I mention them and remain standing until the end of this portion of my speech. I would also like to ask our audience to hold their applause until I recognize each of these officers. Officer Christopher Ortiz of the Fall River Environmental Police Department. Officer Ortiz served 3 years active duty in the United States Army and is currently still serving as a reservist in the United States Army National Guard, where he holds the rank of sergeant. Officer Benjamin Offley of the Brockton Police Department. Officer Offley served 4 years active duty with the United States Marine Corps, where he held the rank of E4 Corporal. Officer Thomas Curtis of the Berkeley College of Music Police Department. Officer Curtis served 4 years active duty with the United States Marine Corps, where he held the rank of sergeant. Officer Matthew Smith of the Orleans Police Department. Officer Smith served 1 year active duty in the United States Army, 3rd Ranger Battalion, 75th Regiment. Officer Damron Yancey of the Hanover Police Department. Officer Yancey served 23 years active duty with the United States Army, the last 11 years of which he served as an Army Ranger. He retired from the Army as a first sergeant. On behalf of the rest of the 18th, and I think I can speak for all of us here today, thank you for what you've done and what you continue to do for your communities in the United States of America. Thank you. Well, there are 48 other officers here today on this stage that have many people to thank. I'd like to take a moment to extend a few personal thank yous to my entire family, my mother Gina, my father Stefano, my brothers Joey, Nick, and Anthony, my girlfriend Julia, and the entire Ginden family. Your continued love and support allow me to be here on this stage today. To Chief Flaherty, thank you for this opportunity and believing in me, and I hope you enjoy a long and happy retirement. And to Lieutenant Tim Nixon, thank you for everything. 18, I'll leave you with this. We started as 52 individuals, and we sit here today as a family of 49. I'm sure each of you, like myself, have faced some sort of adversity to get to this very moment in your life. Continue to use that adversity as motivation. Let it fuel you and allow you to achieve anything and everything that you desire in your life. You've earned your right to be here. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can take that away from you. It's been an honor to be a part of this class with all of you. Continue to walk tall and stay ready to defend all. When it's time to handle business, handle your business. Many obstacles will come our way, but we will welcome them with open arms and conquer them. We will learn from our mistakes, but ultimately, we won't look back. We'll keep moving forward. And don't ever forget, at the end of every shift, we always go home. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer D'Amelia. The class is now ready to assume their duties as police officers. The certificates about to be handed to the graduates are hard-earned and represent 23 weeks of disciplined and structured training program. Executive Director Robert Ferrullo and Deputy Chief Lara Thomas will award the certificates. This will be followed by the pinning of the badges. For the badge pinners and family members who will be coming forward, there are 4 squads. Please wait until the entire squad has received their diplomas, and then I will invite you up for the badge pinning and photos. The pinners will come forward once the squad is in position in front of the stage. Please hold your applause until all of the certificates have been awarded. And now for the moment they have waited for, the awarding of the certificates.
Squad 1, feet. Right, face.
Platoon Leader, Dameron Yancey of the Hanover Police Department, to be pinned by his wife, Caitlin Yancey. Squad 1 Leader, Emery Gomes, Fall River Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Phyllis Gomes. Kyle Frazato, Fall River Police Department, to be pinned by his fiancée, Michaela Schettino. Carolina Quintanilla, Randolph Police Department, to be pinned by her mother, Anna Roman, and daughter, Nyla Bright. Stephen Coakley, Rockland Police Department, to be pinned by his father, Lieutenant Brian Coakley. Matthew Smith, Orleans Police Department, to be pinned by his wife, Lisa Smith, and son, Lincoln. Maggie Schindler, Medway Police Department, to be pinned by her parents, Sue and Bob Schindler. Alex Tisdale, Dartmouth Police Department, to be pinned by his grandfather, Captain Antonio Soares. Michael Chenard, Bellingham Police Department, to be pinned by his wife, Lindsay Chenard. Declan Mead, Canton Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Lieutenant William Mead and Alana Mead. Rashi Jeremy, Randolph Police Department, to be pinned by the Jeremy family. Joshua Briggs, Easton Police Department, to be pinned by his wife, Betty Briggs. Jared Splain, Air Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Ed and Donna Splain. Badge pinners and designated family members, please come forward.
Squad 1, left, face.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for Squad 1.
Right, face. Forward. March. Squad 1, seat. Squad 2, right, face.
Squad 2 leader Cameron Barter, Attleboro Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Tina Holland. Class Secretary Brianna Rosa, Randolph Police Department, to be pinned by her father, Sergeant Gabriel Rosa. Christian Zimba, Orleans Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Amanda Morris. Anthony Rivera, East Ham Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Jen Rivera. Scott Rodonitis, Berkeley Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Mark and Cheryl Rodonitis, and his friend, Officer Douglas Hood. Robert Larson, Bellingham Police Department, to be pinned by his niece, Sophia Rivera. Matthew Norton, Brockton Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Tracy Norton, aunt, retired Officer Nancy Liedberg, and grandfather, retired Officer Robert Liedberg. Carlos Fernandez, New Bedford Police Department, to be pinned by his wife, Tiara Fernandez, and son, Amaro. Andrew Roy, Falmouth Police Department, to be pinned by his wife, Amanda Roy, and daughters, Savannah and Scarlett. Joseph Hines, Canton Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, William and Kim Hines. Jeffrey Donahue, Rockland Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Jeffrey and Denise Donahue. Class President Stefano D'Amelia, West Bridgewater Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Stefano and Gina D'Amelia, and grandfather, retired Chief Paul Studensky. Badge pinners and designated family members, please come forward.
Left, face.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for Squad 2.
Right, face. Forward, march. Squad 2, seat. Right, face.
Squad 3 leader, Thomas Curtis, Berklee College of Music, to be pinned by his parents, Tom and Diane Curtis. Class Vice President Brittany Pertigow, Easton Police Department, to be pinned by her parents, Jeffrey and Michelle Pertigow, and boyfriend, Officer Michael Hiltz. Bryn Garzinski, Norwood Police Department, to be pinned by her sister, Kayla Garzinski. Darrell Martinez, UMass Boston Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Rafael Martinez and Fiora Fernandez. Jackson Taccio, Attleboro Police Department, to be pinned by his wife, Brianna Taccio, and son, Jace. Christopher Ortiz, Fall River Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, David Andrade and Naomi Yates. Wilfred St. Hilaire Jr., Randolph Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Monique and Wilfred St. Hilaire. Michael Reedy, Brockton Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Doreen Frankio. Patrick Hickey, Whitman Police Department, to be pinned by his wife, Christine Hickey. Ian Furtado, Fairhaven Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Diane Larson. William Wade, Canton Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Eric and Bridget Wade. Alex Ferez, Bentley University Police Department, to be pinned by his brother, Nicholas Ferez. Badge pinners and designated family members, please come forward.
Squad 3, land, face.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for Squad 3.
Left, face. Seat. Right, face.
Squad 4 leader Ryan Johnson, Norwood Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Ken Johnson and Michelle Troilo. George Roman, Winthrop Police Department, to be pinned by his brother, Daniel Cortez. Dylan Reed, Orleans Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Evelyn Reed. Jackson Tracy, Fall River Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Karen Tracy. Stephanie Saintville, Randolph Police Department, to be pinned by her daughter, Brianna, and sister, Gerline Saintville. Ethan Sherman, Dartmouth Police Department, to be pinned by his parents, Keith Sherman and Tara Sherman. Carter John Wood, Easton Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Kathleen Wood. Jack Chapman, Wareham Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Colleen Thomas, and fiancée, Brianne Riccio. Devin Donnelly, Rockland Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Kim Donnelly. Class Treasurer Benjamin Offley, Brockton Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Karen Anfield, and sister, Jasmine Offley. Robert Hoey, Whitman Police Department, to be pinned by his wife, Lauren Hoey, and children, Kaylee and Declan. Brandon McNeil, Dartmouth Police Department, to be pinned by his mother, Karen McNeil. Badge pinners and designated family members, please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for Squad 4. At this time, Deputy Chief Aramo will administer the oath of honor.
Platoon, feet. Ready, move.
I would also invite any member of law enforcement who is here, whether guest or staff member to also stand and take the oath, and jointly, we will reaffirm our commitment to perform our jobs ethically, with honor and integrity. On my honor. I will never betray my integrity. My character. Or the public trust. I will treat all individuals with dignity and respect. And ensure that my actions are dedicated. To ensuring the safety of my community. And the preservation of human life. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others. Accountable for our actions. I will always maintain the highest ethical standards. And uphold the values of my community and the agency I serve. Thank you.
Recover!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present to you the Randolph Police Academy 18th ROC Recruit Officer Class.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. It's the tradition of the Academy to transfer the class guide-on to the Academy staff, and we will continue that tradition by asking Officer D'Amelia of the West Bridgewater Police Department, the class guide-on bearer, to come forward and present the guide-on to Sergeant Meinke. We are grateful to the Boston Gaelic Column as well as the town of Norwood for their assistance with the graduation today by providing the honor guide, pipes, drums, and venue. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all of the departments and agencies who have helped the Academy be successful, who have lent us cruisers, equipment, venues, who have allowed your officers to come and teach and role play with us. Your generosity and support is greatly appreciated. I also want to thank the families of our recruits. Your support is vital. It will be more so as they return to their departments and communities. 18th ROC, let me leave you with one last piece of advice. Never take your family and your support network for granted. Appreciate them and show them that appreciation. Go to the family dinners, the dance recitals, the baseball games. You can always work another overtime shift another day, but you only have one chance to experience these moments. I would like to invite Reverend Deacon Christos Hatsopoulos to the stage to give the benediction.
Ready, move.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this time we have had together this evening honoring the graduates of the 18th Recruit Officer Class at Randolph Police Academy honoring those who have done so well. Thank you for their accomplishments and their commitments. Thank you for their families and friends who support them so well. Thank you for their instructors and all Academy staff who train them to be the best they can be. Go with these new officers to the next phase of their respective departments, that they will go with pride and confidence, ready to perform their sworn duties, depending on you always for their strength and comfort. We ask that your hand be ever on these officers who graduated this evening, both in and out of harm's way. Grant them courage to protect and serve their communities with duty, honor, and compassion. This we pray in your name. Amen.
Recover!
Thank you. 18th ROC, you now have your very own front row ticket to the greatest show on earth. You are now police officers with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best of luck to infinity and beyond. I would like to thank you all for attending and sharing in this memorable occasion. At this time, I would like Officer Levine to dismiss the class for the last time. Once this is completed, this will conclude our ceremony for today. Officer Levine, will you please dismiss the class?
Police officers of the Randolph Police Academy, 18 ROC, for the very last time, dismiss!